O Great Spirit, Namaste. Saints and sages of all times, of all places, Namaste. O ye path makers of old, Om Shri Babaji Ya Namaha. Om Shri Lahiri Mahasaya Ji Ya Namaha. Om Shri Teshwar Ji Ya Namaha. Om Shri Paramahansa Yogananda Ji Ya Namaha. Om Shri Shali Ji Ya Namaha. Om Shri Kriyananda Ji Ya Namaha. Ancestors, ancestors of all of our lineages, our bloodlines, our adopted lineages, our spiritual lineages, all of the lineages to whom we attune. Ya Namaha, be with us, we bow unto thee. O most beloved and precious Ishtadevata, in all of thy names and all of thy forms, Ya Namaha, be with us. Bless us. Bring us all that we need as we share this time together. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste, Namaskar. Welcome to my heart. Welcome to our Sunday Sangha, our Sunday meditation. I'll share a little yoga insight, I hope. We'll meditate, and then together we will use our spiritual energies to send forth with the Divine Ones blessings to all realms, so that all will be helped through our meditation and through our prayer. Kriya Yoga, spiritual tradition that I and many of you follow, is a mystical tradition. It is predicated upon your ability to have primary experiences. Not on what I tell you, not on what you read in a book, but for you to have those direct experiences. Many of us have had direct experiences in recent breaths, weeks, months, perhaps even years, of chaos in the world, of uncertainty in the world that we live in, whatever our universe is, whether you're living in Norway, or you're living in Russia, or you're living in Maine, or you're living in Oregon, it doesn't matter, where in the world you're living, Australia, Italy. We all have a universe in which we live. I live in a part of the area that's called Chicago, but I don't live in the same part of Chicago as some of the rest of you live. We all have unique universes, is what I'm saying. Therefore, the first principle of Kriya Yoga is that one must always turn inward. We have to develop the skills, you have to cultivate and develop and strengthen those muscles to turn inward, to become aware of what is in your consciousness, not just the fluctuations of the mind, the daily fluctuations of the mind, if you will, but the consciousness. What is there? this is what we must become aware of. The first thing that we see is, oh my heavens, isn't that an interesting mess? Isn't that an interesting chaos? Isn't that an interesting chuckles? Isn't it an interesting chaotic state that we find when we turn from the external world to the internal world? And what happens? Well, a lot of times you don't leave what you see out there when you turn inward. In fact, you stir it. It grows, it grows, it grows. You stamp it, if you will. You emphasize it, if you will. Depending upon the time zone you're in, later tonight or into tomorrow, for most of us it will be into tomorrow, we will have the new moon in Gemini. And Gemini is the part of the zodiac that emphasizes your capacity to communicate. Now, my beloved, the most important is to be able to learn to communicate with your consciousness. Communication is one of the most difficult skills that a human being can cultivate. To learn the language of the subconscious, the unconscious, and the conscious mind is very vital. The unconscious and subconscious, they don't speak Russian, they don't speak Greek, they don't speak, heaven knows, they don't speak French, they don't speak English, they don't speak Italian. It might speak Sanskrit, but it speaks symbolism. It speaks symbolese, if you will. And so along the path, we have to understand symbolism so that you know this is a language that you can communicate with in your dreams and in your awakened state. And you can communicate with others in your dreams and your awakened state. If you look behind you on the altar, behind you on the bookshelf, isn't it interesting I said altar? You'll see this was a little gift that was given to me. And it's a person cultivating the garden of God. Watering and cultivating the garden of God. The young soul made that and sent it to me. So whenever you see that there, I'm symbolically reminding you to cultivate the garden of God. And it's next to a picture of my guru, the dispeller in my life of darkness. And on the other side of that is Hanumanji, the soul that is a symbol of devotion, complete and utter devotion to one's practice. So I'm saying with these symbols, and then next to that, of course, is the Buddha, Lord Buddha, the ability to communicate, the Mercury chakra. So I have there symbols speaking to you. Whether you're conscious of it or not, they're there. It is my way of expressing to you, it is important in your life, it's important in my life, it's my way of communicating to myself, to till the garden of the divine. For that is where we are, you and I. Now, sometimes the tilling is a little hard. Sometimes the tilling is quite difficult. My grandparents, my paternal grandparents, were farmers. And when I was very little, Granny would let me go out in the vegetable garden and try to till the garden. And you know, that means you have to break up the clumps of dirt. And sometimes it was really easy, but sometimes out in western Kansas, it was dry and really hard. And there were clumps in there, and I wasn't strong enough to turn them over. Sometimes I was so little that I couldn't even get the hoe, if you will, to move the clump. And I'd have to say, Granny, Granny, can you come and help me? Well, this is where we are today. Sometimes in our garden, the garden is dry. Sometimes it's filled with the wet emotionality of the world. And we have to call for help. We need to know what to do to call for help. Now, in Kriya, we have a watchword, if you will, a watch phrase, which has always been adjust, adapt, acclimatize. It's a 3, a trimurti. Well, a few years ago, my guru added adjust, adapt, acclimatize, and rest. Today, in a moment of creativity, we move to the number 5. 5 is the number of creativity. And in order for you to create a new way of being in this time, which is different than other time we've been in, we must first accept, adjust, adapt, acclimatize. And there is the rest, which is the pause in the inhalation and exhalation. So we move from a trimurti to 4 levels now to the point of creation, the point of creativity. Very, very vital in this new moon cycle, and very vital yesterday. I'm sure many of you already know, but Saturn, the Lord of structure, the Lord of your bones, of your skin, the state of consciousness that defines structure in all the earth plane, moved from the end of the zodiacal patterning to the beginning. It went into the house of Aries, into the house ruled by Mars, bringing to this beautiful house, which is filled with energy, which is filled with fire, which is filled with creativity, bringing with it discipline and structure. What can you create when you have discipline and structure? An enormous amount can be created. You can take the mud and make beautiful clay pots. If you have discipline and structure. Now, this ability to accept, it takes courage. You have courage. You may not feel like it, but courage is the capacity which you have to act according to your values. It does not mean that the fear goes away. It does not mean that you are acting knowing everything is going to be the way you'd like it to be. But it means that you have the capacity to turn inward and say, yes, I can face this. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I have the techniques, the practices, and I am turning to the resources that I have within. You have that. Now, the first A of the 4, A of the 4th power, is accept. And in meditating and preparing for today, I was really have been reflecting upon this word a lot. Because there is within our mind, all of our minds, my beloved, all of our minds, a natural resistance to accepting many, many of life conditions. I don't want that. I don't want the experience of this moment. I want it to be other than what it is. And all that happens is that you stir the pot. You make it worse, you make it worse, you make it worse, you make it worse. You carry the pain of the past and the anticipated pain of the future into this present moment. So accepting means slowing down, being able to take a breath, and having made a vow to yourself. Not anybody else, not God, not Guru, not Mother, you don't have to tell the world, but a vow to yourself. I really want to see how it is. I'm going to accept whatever I see in front of me. I'm going to accept it. It means having equanimity. It means if somebody puts rice that's stale in front of you or spoiled because it's been sitting out with butter or something like that, you don't feed yourself the poison, but you do not become emotional. Emotion is the poison of the mind. Now, I'm not saying become dull. I'm not saying become indifferent. I'm saying do not feed the emotionality of the mind. So, another way of saying this, I'm not going to become attached to my preferences. But all I'm saying today is just for a moment, accept it. Accept it. You see the little Lego tilling the Garden of Gods, and your mind may have thought, well, that's ridiculous. What is she doing with that up there? That is ridiculous. Hey, it's meaningful to me. Accept it. So the first thing we do is we take a breath. You take a breath. And whatever arises in this moment, no action, no compulsion to move forward, no weeping, no indifference. May I see it? Let me accept it. And you wait quietly in the mind. And every time a thought arises that you're not accepting it, you go back to what we've been talking about, neti, neti, neti. All right, I don't have to accept this. It's not necessary. Excuse me, I don't have to like it. I must accept it. I must accept it. I do not have to like it. But you must accept it. Isn't it interesting how that slipped out of my mouth? Shows how much more work I have to do. Adjust. What does it mean to adjust? Well, when the world around you is changing, the mind fights it. The mind does not want to accept it. And then when you see it, the mind still doesn't want to accept it. And so there is a period, whether it's a nanosecond or it's a minute or it's weeks, sometimes months, we have to adjust to the new circumstances. If you move from Chicago to Sydney, Australia, you leave your winter coats behind. Some dear friends of ours did that not long ago. And, the children and the adults, the family, they all piled up their winter coats and brought them over and said, now, can you please give these away for us? We won't need them anymore. And my mind panicked. I'll tell you, just for an instant, I thought, how can you not take your coats to where you're going? Now, they had obviously already recognized But they were going someplace where Chicago winter coats were not going to benefit them. They didn't need them. They could let them go. But my mind was still stuck there. And so we have to say, when we see it, watch what is rising in your mind. The skill to observe what is rising in your consciousness is vital on this spiritual path. It's vital to attuning to, tapping into your courage, to being able to walk through this time with clear thinking, clear action, clear direction. Adjust. Now, there's a difference between adjusting and adapting. Adapting means, oh, all right, what do I need here? I see that it's different, right? I'm not going to be wearing my winter coat. What skills do I need to have to live in this environment? All right. Now the question is, when the entire foundation seems to be shaken up, when you're in a period of time and the entire foundation is shaking and you don't know, what do you do? Adjust, adapt. Well, what do you do? Study history, my beloved. Get the history books out. If you're an astrologer, go back and look. What happened the last time that Uranus moved into Gemini? What happened the last time Saturn moved into Aries? What happened the last time Pluto moved into Aquarius? Use the outer planets. Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Aquarius. Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, sorry. What happened in the world? Was there a depression? Were there wars? Were there dust storms? What happened? Adjust, adapt, so that you're not carrying that boat up the mountain when you don't need it anymore. Adjust, adapt, accept, adjust, adapt, acclimatize. Well, acclimatizing means that we have to develop new skills or strengthen skills that we already have. So you have to stop now and say, what do I need to do? You know, when your body is getting on in years, like this one is, you have to make an effort to strengthen the core of the body, to make an effort to do whatever you need to do to attain and sustain and retain, attain, sustain balance, the capacity to balance, so that you can live more with greater health and in harmony in your life. Acclimatize means to learn to become comfortable as best as you can in the circumstances that you're living in. And then why is there the rest? Why is there the pause? Now, this is a great mystical principle. And proven in science. If you're trying to lift a weight, whether it's a psychological weight, whether it's a physical weight, if you're trying to lift a weight, you have the capacity to lift and lift and lift and lift and lift. And then you reach a point where the mind and the body cannot move anymore. So you stop. Take a breath. And then you can go on and move again. You're pulling the wagon up the hill. And you reach a point where you're sure you can't do it anymore. You can't live with the circumstances anymore. You stop, you take a breath. You rest. And then you pick up and you walk again. And so it's simple. Accept, whatever life has brought you at this moment. Accept, adjust, adapt, acclimatize, and rest. But we are facing today, most of us, not all of us, some are facing subjective experiences where we know around the world, people's homes are being blown up, people's food is being taken away, people's healthcare is being taken away, people are being moved one way or another from their home, their security, into some place of uncertainty. That's a subjective experience. Your reaction to it is an objective experience. But most of us today, with the chaos that's going on in the world, whether you support it or you don't support it, whether you want to see it or don't want to see it, we are in the midst of massive change that has come. The writing's been on the wall, the handwriting's been on the wall, and the change is going to accelerate, my beloved. Don't be worried about it. Accept it. I didn't say you have to like it. I said if it's raining, you have to put on a raincoat. But the objective experience that is most difficult for most of us is our emotional reaction to what we perceive is happening, what we imagine is going to happen, what we fear has happened, what we fear is going to happen to others. There are people in this world who have loved ones who are at the end of their lives. And I've seen it, The loved one has lived till 93, 94, 95. In fact, I met a woman one time. She was very upset. She was in her, at that time, I guess probably mid to late 80s. Oh, I've had a terrible life. Terrible, terrible, terrible life. And her son said, Ma, what's happened? What do you mean you've had a terrible life? My life is so awful. What happened? Pa died. My pa died. And her son sat back in the chair and said, Ma, he was 97 years old. I know, but my father died. Oh, bless her, bless her, bless her, bless her, bless her, bless her. That we might all be blessed by her experience to see there are certain conditions that happen to all of us. And there is a necessity to accept them. I'm thinking of my friend, Swami Mayananda Goswami. She, in later years, we were sitting there one time and she looks down at her chest and she says, I never thought this would happen to me. If you're a woman, you know what I'm talking about. And yet it did. It does. It does for all of us. So in that acceptance, it is the cultivation of equanimity. Acceptance is the cultivation of equanimity. Your skill to have equanimity, to accept the condition as it is, however it is. Walking in the rains in Calcutta, if you're walking in the floods in Asheville, if you're sitting in the snowstorm, the unexpected snowstorm in New Orleans earlier this year, it is your capacity to have equanimity. You are. The most vital and important thing that we can do, excuse me just a moment. The most vital and important thing that we can do is to accept the nature of the mind and train it. Don't lie to yourself about it. Don't say, well, everybody else's mind may be emotional, but not mine. Yeah, the minds are emotional. They are. Your mind is emotional. Heaven knows my mind is emotional. Therefore, when I'm having a subjective experience, an experience which really is based upon my reaction to a perceived event, it is very different than an experience in which I am really having that physical experience. I must quiet the mind first. Quiet the mind first. Stop fighting. Breathe. Use Vasudeva. Use the Lord of the indwelling breath to ride upon, to simply see and quiet the mind. When sadness arises, when anger arises, when depression arises, this too shall pass. Isn't this interesting? Recognizing it is the longing that is causing you the problem. Now, I'd like to give you an affirmation, if you will. Some of you have this and have been practicing it. For some of you, it will be new. For all of us, today, it is very helpful. It will be very helpful in your life. You have the 5 count. You have accept, adjust, adapt, acclimatize, and the pause, the rest. You have that. All right? Accept, adjust, adapt, acclimatize, and rest. Accept, adapt, adjust, acclimatize, and rest. You have the 5. Make that a poster. Listen to the recording again and again. Listen to the teaching. Delve into, as you listen to the recording, reflect, meditate on what was said today. How does it apply in your everyday life? As you see something rising in your mind, how can you apply these things? For the Kriya Yoga is not just a philosophy, it's a methodology to use to improve your everyday life. Many of you have come to me and said, what do I do? How do I object to what is happening? What do I do with what's happening around the world? And many of you don't like the answer, which is balance your mind. Balance the emotionality of your mind. Meditate, meditate, meditate. Pray. Quiet the mind so that you're not adding to the problem. This is very key. Quiet the mind so you are not adding to the problem. Now here's the very simple affirmation, and then we will go into a meditation and then close with our meditative prayer. Several times a day, repeat this affirmation. Your life, this is not the affirmation, your life is a path to spiritual maturity, is a path to maturing, to understanding life. That's what we're here for. Not to experience all the wonders, but to understand the nature of life, the totality. So here's the affirmation. I shall now embrace strength on the path of maturity. That's the first part. Strength. When you say that, my beloved, speak it now, momentarily, but I want you to think about what it means to have strength in your life. I shall now embrace strength on the path of maturity. I shall now embrace concentration on the path of maturity. I shall now embrace awareness on the path of maturity. I shall now embrace detachment on the path of maturity. Make it easy. SCAD. Strength, concentration, awareness, detachment. Strength, concentration, awareness, detachment. Strength, concentration, awareness, detachment. Strength is what will enable you to simply use your consciousness, accept. Concentration is the skill that you need to cultivate, build those muscles of concentration. Build them. For with concentration, you can see clearly. If your mind is scattered and your mind is emotional, you are easily manipulated. It's not a spiritually good thing. Strength, concentration. Practice it. Focus on one thing. Awareness. Be willing to be aware, to see beyond the thumb that blocks your eye. Strength, concentration, awareness. And the greatest, detachment. Not indifference, but detachment. To recognize, flood rivers are high. How am I going to walk through this, being of greatest help to myself and to others? For if you don't help yourself, you cannot help others. And with that, my beloved, we will have a meditation together, and then we will close with some meditative prayer. Sit with your spine erect. Place your hands in the Om Mudra, the index finger and the thumb together. The hands cupped upward upon your thighs. Turn your head to the left, exhaling twice. Bring the head back to the center. Begin to watch the breath. Now, with the next inhalation of the breath, use the sipping breath and draw the energy from the limbs of the body to the trunk of the body. From the trunk of the body, pull the energy into the spinal column. From the base of the spine, pull the energy up to the sun center. And move that energy as a golden ball of light out in front of you. Expand that golden light and sweep it around your body, moving counterclockwise. 3 times encasing your being in golden light. And now ascend. Ascend to the highest place that you are able. Ascend. Reaching the high place of meditation. You have reached the high place. And today, in your mind's eye, see the high place. Now, in your mind's eye, call upon all of the guardians, all of your helpers, and see them surrounding this sacred place. Creating a golden web of light, a golden sheet of light. In all directions, extending infinitely, so that as you enter this place, you are safe, you are protected. It is here that you can see clearly. As you enter through the gateway, you feel invited and welcome. A place that is perfect for you is waiting for you. As you sit, begin to watch your breath, focusing on the inhalation and exhalation. Inhaling strength. Exhaling to make space. Inhaling strength. Exhaling. Inhaling strength. Exhaling and rest. You see in front of you the golden light, holding your attention at your sun center. Inhaling concentration. Exhaling in rest. Inhaling concentration. Exhaling in rest. Inhaling in concentration. Exhaling in rest. Inhaling awareness. Exhaling in rest. Inhaling in awareness. Exhaling in rest. Inhaling in awareness. Exhaling in rest. Inhaling in detachment. Exhaling rest. Inhaling detachment. Exhaling rest. Inhaling detachment. Exhaling rest. Continue to watch the breath. Feel the golden light of the divine blessings pouring upon you at this moment. Upon you, through you, filling every cell of your being. Focusing at your sun center. Breathing in and accepting the blessings and exhaling any confining energies. Ananda. 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 Ananda, Ananda, Ananda. Taking the bliss of Ananda, call upon all the powers that be. In your own words, O ye powers that be, join with us as we send forth our blessings, our spiritual intent, our prayers for all of those in need. For Mother Gaia herself, we send forth, using the Om mantra. Feel the golden light pouring down upon Mother Gaia, that all that is needed to heal be given unto her. Let us chant the mantra 3 times. Om Shanti, 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 Om Shanti, 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 Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. O ye powers that be, thou knowest far better than we the needs, the ways, the highest good for all of those for whom we offer these prayers. At this moment, we take aside and set aside our attachment to our preferences and ask that our prayer energy be used for the highest good, for all of those souls who are living with water insecurity, with food insecurity, with shelter insecurity, with economic insecurity, with medical needs, with health needs, with emotional needs. Most beloved divine ones, we call upon thee to send forth thy protection, thy healing protection and energy to all beings upon the earth and in all realms, that the karma for all beings be softened. And now let us chant the Om Shanti mantra. We will chant this 12 times, but as you chant, feel the golden light pouring forth from your sun center, your blessings, merging with the blessings of the divine, being sent, given to all who are in need. Let the highest good for all be done. Om, the sound of the totality of life itself breathing. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, infinite peace. Let us begin. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. 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 Thou art blessed. Become never greater blessing unto all of those who enter your aura. Reach deep within and find the courage which lives within you. Strengthen that courage. Know that acting is balancing the emotionality of your mind. Let go. Accept. Adapt, adjust, acclimatize. And let there be a pause. And in that rest, send forth your wisdom and your blessings to all beings. At this moment and with each breath that you take, may the powers that be lift you, guard you, guide you, illumine your way. May the light of Kriya, which shines brightly within you, shine brightly for all to see and to be blessed by your presence. Namaste. Namaskar.